About 4 years ago, I was going to Evangel Classical Christian School, which is a very challenging academic school. And through that time, I got very fixated on my homework and very fixated on getting all A's and being the perfect student, that I was spending all my evening pretty much doing homework. And it just was all the stress that was piling up. Through that, my mind just was bombarded with thoughts of stress and fear, and are you going to accomplish this? Can you do this or that? I was mentally just crumbling. It was a wonderful school, but I was taken out of the school so I could be in a stable environment so that I could function properly with school. And during that time, it just continued. My mind was already on a downward spiral. So we went to the doctor, and he diagnosed me with obsessive compulsive disorder. I guess it made sense in a way that that's what the diagnosis was, but at the same time, I didn't want to receive that. When I was going through this time, it was one of the darkest times I've ever had. My mind was under constant attack from the enemy. Thoughts of fear and condemnation and shame just overclouding everything I was doing, even the things that didn't matter, the small things. And that was when I had to say, okay, God, your word says that your promises are my shield and protection, and I'm going to stand in it because you've promised me victory. And so that was when I really had to dig down and say, okay, I trust you, Lord, whatever you say is my truth and not what my thoughts are saying. It was like focusing in a storm on that one thing you know is solid. And I grew in my faith, and God just started to bring me out of that oppression and maybe even depression that I was in. When God brought me out, it was so much more restful than it was before. I had peace in my mind, and it wasn't under constant attack. I just had to stick with what the Lord was saying of me being a conqueror, that I'm a victor, that I've not been given a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind, and just to fill my thoughts with what His word was saying and to stand on that truth. God just completely restored my heart. I could just feel Him putting the pieces of my heart back together, my emotions, my mind, and putting it back into the healthy place that it needed to be. And I'm no longer on any medication. God took me completely off of that, and I've really learned how to stand on Him because He's faithful in every circumstance. Now I can reach out to other people who are dealing with the same struggles that I did. And knowing that there is victory and being able to tell that to someone who feels completely blind and completely trapped and hopeless, and just saying, no, I've been there. I understand the hole that you feel trapped in. I know that God's called me to do that. I dealt with thoughts of hopelessness and fear, and I exchanged that for a life of victory and completion. Christ made me whole.